Third time lucky. All right, here we go. Okay, so as I was saying, we'll talk about the integrations. We're going to look at the workflow designer. So a workflow designer is when you want to try and automate the process as much as possible. So for example, sorry, I think somebody's microphone is still on there. So with the workflow designer, if in the first session that we did, you had to go and put in all the email addresses of all the people that the document needed to be sent to, you also needed to attach the document. So in workflow designer, you could preset that up depending on what it is that you need. We're going to look at some of the roles and some of the routing. I did go through this in the first session, but I'll just do a little bit of a refreshment on that, but show you in the workflow designer aspect. I want to talk about templates and the different types of templates that you can create, right? If you have, somebody said on the call that you sometimes have international students. So if you know that you have students that come from, that are non-English, I'm not talking about African languages. Unfortunately, we don't have the Zulu and the Xhosa and all of that. But if you know that it's a French student or a German student, you can have the interface available to them in the language, but not the documents. So the documents would still be in English. All right. Account delegation, I did kind of speak about this in the first session, but the ability, and I'll show you through the advanced roles, that you can set somebody up purely as a delegator, that they need to delegate it onto somebody else. And then one-time PIN phone authentication, again, that is an authentication method. I did speak about it in the first session, but it's the ability to be able to have somebody have a one-time PIN as an extra security measure before they actually go in and look at the document. Right, so let's look at the integration. So Adobe Sign, which is the purpley blue, depending on how you see the color icons here, this would integrate with OneDrive, with SharePoint, with Microsoft Dynamics. If you're using Power Apps or Flow, depending on how you use it in your environment, it will integrate with that. I will show you now the integration with Teams. There is Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook right now that you can integrate with on a Microsoft and Adobe. If you have any other kind of back-end systems, whether it's HR systems or student systems or procurement systems or whatever that is, as long as those systems support what we call REST APIs, then bridges can be built between the two. So the Microsoft ones, in some solutions, there are already these connectors already pre-built, but if you have a bespoke or a system that is not on the list, but it does support REST version 6, you could get somebody to build that connector for you. Right, so some of these integrations are really easy to see. So for example, you can see on the screen it would work in the online version or the desktop version. At the bottom you can see that these plugins will be available. So they would be the second and the third one here at the bottom, which would be send for signature and to view your agreement status at any particular point in time. Right. I will be going through the screen, but most of these advanced features are available on your home screen. So if you want libraries and workflows, it would be from the middle of the screen. We will look at publishing forms. I'll talk about sending out multiple documents, and of course the use of creating a template, right? I'll show you the web forms in a moment, just so that I don't have to keep on coming back to the presentation. Templates, what I do want to mention here about templates is templates can be on a per user level, right? It could be on a departmental level, or it could be on an organization or an institutional level. So again, depending on how the templates are created. right? Adobe Sign also supports tagging of documents. So if you, this is an option that is available. So if you do have any kind of templates that are available, and we could have a totally separate session on this if it's something that you're wanting to look at. But in the Microsoft Word documents, and I'll show you in my example, you can go and fill in these tags, and then when you automatically upload it into Adobe Sign, those tags will automatically become form fields that you don't have to drag on at any particular point in time. So this is really great if you've got contracts or elements that are changing on a regular basis, but the information and where people need to fill in stay the same. Right. Workflows, and I'm going to show you this on the actual system, but workflows could be something really simple as, you know, just getting a manager to sign, then maybe it goes to the accounts department, and then maybe the CEO needs to sign. And here are perfect examples. So the blue is the person just fills out the form. Here this is somebody that is signing, and then here somebody that is approving. So they are color coded and they have various icons so that you can see what they would look like, right? If in the first session where I spoke about signing in parallel or having recipient groups, you can now do this if you have a bit more of a complex workflow that needs to be set up. Please note that workflows need to be set up by an administrator and not as you as the user on a user level. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you can't see it, it's something that needs to be set up by admin. Right, so when you have, so that's workflows, and you can see here that I can even set up recipient groups. So this is a particular example where somebody filled out the form, it went to a recruitment recipient group, then from there 2 managers signed, then it came back to recruitment for approval, then it went out to the candidate or the student, and then there was a certified recipient that received the document back. So that was a more complex workflow, right? Then we can have a look at workflows. So they're also found in the library section. So the one I showed you just now was templates, but these workflows would then appear for the user either as a shared workflow or on an organizational level. So per group or per organization that they would be able to use. Right, and just to show you what this is going to look like, you can see that the information is pre-filled in, and here at the bottom you can see account approval. You can see the files are already attached, so that would take out this first step within the process, but I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Right, then we have mega sign. So that is if you have to send the same document out to multiple people, but you need to be able to customize it according to the information that and the fields that are in that document. So you can upload, so in blue here it says import recipients, and this can be from an Excel document or a CSV file where all the information that needs to go into each field can be pre-populated, and then you can have different verification methods for internal or external. Right, so let's get into and let me show you exactly how this works. Right, so let's quit PowerPoint, we don't need that anymore. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you is some integrations that are available. So I'm going to pick on Microsoft Teams. So let's just get Teams up here. Right, so here is my Teams window with everybody on the call today. And inside here, I could go and type Adobe, and then I would find Adobe Sign. Alright, so again, depending on the application, in the Microsoft Word environment, it would just be an add-in. And again, this can be controlled by IT if they need to. Right, so once it's there, you can activate it, let's call it that. Here's ones that have already been sent, so you can see I have the ability to download them. But when I go into the sign tab here, it might just ask me to authenticate because we're in a different meeting room to what I was earlier on for the previous session. Right, you're just going to log in with your Adobe Sign credentials. All right, so you do need to have an Adobe Sign license to be able to use this. Right, let's just give it a moment to load. There we go. Right, and the same as in the previous screen or the previous session earlier on today, I could then go and fill out the information in this screen under the send for signature. The difference here is I do not need to leave the Microsoft Teams environment. So it's not like I have to go out, log into Adobe Sign, do whatever I need to do, and then come back in here. It's all available to me directly within this screen. Right, so it's going to be exactly the same as what I covered previously. I can even come in here and I can manage my agreements. So the same as I had under the Manage tab. Let me just move this up here, behind here. If you can see my mouse wiggling around the Manage tab. In the Teams environment, this is exactly the same. So you can see here what's in progress, what's waiting for me. And here you can see that DUT approval that we were waiting for last time. Let me just move this out of the way. And here I can see who's waiting to sign and what the activity is. So all of that is still available to me inside here. I can even see those that are completed, expired, and drafts, etc., etc. Once a document has been completed, sent for signature, and has come back, then it will appear in the chat pod here, and you would then be able to see the signed document and have the ability to be able to download it if need be. So that is how the integration would work within a Teams environment. If it's SharePoint, you would log into SharePoint, you would select your documents, and the only difference is that there would be a 3 little ellipse icon like this at the top of your screen, and if you clicked on that, you would go down and say send for signature, and then it would be the same experience as this experience over here. I'm just waiting for it to load, but that would be in the SharePoint environment. Right. While I'm waiting for that to load, let me load Microsoft Word a moment. Right, I'm just going to open a particular document here. Let's move Teams out of the way. Here we go. All right. So in the Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Outlook environment, you would need to go to your insert menu and then get the add-ins. And here again, you would go and search for Adobe. And if I go under my add-ins, you can see that I've got Adobe Sign selected there. What this will do is in my home screen, it will then give me these 2 icons that are available. And if I click on the first one, it's just going to ask me to authenticate. Okay, let's just get started. I'm going to sign in with my Adobe Sign email address. You can see here it's Adobe Sign. And here is the little panel that I will have on the side of my screen. Right, so here you can see it will automatically add the document that is open. Here, multi-sign tag document. There it is at the top. I can even add additional files if I need to. I can add who the email recipient people are that need to receive this. If I have more than one recipient, I can just put a comma in there and then add the additional ones. Here is my message. I can preview and send, and I can say continue, or I could go through to the more options if I needed to do that. Sorry, I've got an error here with this. And then I could say continue, and it would go out for signature directly from within Adobe Sign, right? If I go to agreement status, again, within the Microsoft environment, I can see exactly where my documents are. So this one should be that DUT one. It's out for, it's today's one, and I can view the agreement if I need to. So I don't have to leave the Microsoft environment. Right, and here's just to show you some of the tagging of the document. Right, so let's put Word. Okay, so let's do that. All right, the next thing I wanted to show you was the ability to be able to create and use a template. Right, so here at the bottom, before I do that, here at the bottom you've got web forms that are available. So here is an example of one. Okay, so this could be on your intranet or your internet site, it makes no difference. And when you create a web form, you can, so let me just go back a moment. Let's go into publish a web form. Yes. I might have to just increase my browser view. Let me just see if I can do that. Is that a little bit better for everybody? Okay, no problem. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So I went to my home screen first and I said I wanted to create a web form. Here is where you can give it a name. All right, again, I can go and choose the role of the person that is filling in the form. So if it's for student applications, they might just be a person that fills in the form. All right, and maybe the authentication method that you want might be social media or password, or if you choose none, it's going to be their email address. Right, then once that form comes in, all right, who is the person that needs to sign or get that document? And this is where you can go and put in what the new person's details are that needs to sign, whether it's one person. So the first section, let's say here, student form. Right, this could be the first person, and then maybe approvals need to be a second level. Maybe that's going to be myself. All right, so you can see you've got different options here. You can drag the document in like we did before. All right, so let me just go and drag in a simple document here quickly. So this could be your application form. It could be your PDF that's already interactive if you need to, and you can then say next. Right, so very simple to be able to create. What the difference is here is it's going to ask you how do you want to make it visible to other people. Okay, so once I've done this, sorry, you would put in your form fields if you needed to. I'm just going to say save. Submitting. All right, so what's going to happen here now, you can see here that I can either copy the URL, so this is going to be the URL of your Adobe Sign account, all right, or you can embed this code into your existing website wherever you need it to be. So if I show you my example here, you can see this is my Adobe Sign link that I was using. But if I embed it, I can use that, and I can choose whether it's HTML or a script that I want to be able to do. All right, and then this particular form, you can see I can put the department, let's call it maintenance, the code, maybe there's a cost center, maybe the description, all right, who's submitting it. or it could be the student that's filling out the form. Maybe you've got the date. Of course, you can also do validations of fields. Right. Jill in the previous session asked, can people attach documentation? So here is an example of that, where they can go and attach whatever it is that they need to attach, whether it, in this instance, whether it's an invoice or a quote or a student ID or whatever it is, and then they can submit it, and then it will go on to the next person. All right. What I have also set up here is that they need to enter their name and their email address, and that it needs to be authenticated. So you can do a separate level of authentication if you need to. All right. So that is a web form. Really easy to create. Right. The next thing I wanted to show you is under the accounts tab, there is something called workflows. Right. And you can go and create a new workflow by clicking on the little plus button. Okay. And for this particular workflow, you could give it a name. All right. So let's call it demo workflow. Right? Who's it going to be available to? So if I say all groups, that's for your organization or your institution, or is it for just a particular department or group? You can choose one of those, right? You can give instructions on how the people need to use that particular workflow. And then here, you're going to follow these little steps on the left hand side. So if I go into agreement information, so now I can go and say, all right, what is this agreement's name? Maybe this is multi-sign. Okay. So this is kind of the email that they are going to be receiving, like the one I showed you in the previous session. So please sign this document, whatever you want to call it. Are there people that need to be on copy? And now I can determine what is the minimum number of people that need to be in this workflow. So it would be 1. And what is the maximum number? So these would be all the people within this workflow that I wanted to use. So if it's a 3-level group, then I'm going to put 3. If I know that I need 5 signatures, I'm going to put 5, right? And do I want to make any of this editable? So maybe I need to change it on an ad hoc level, right? And then here, do I need to set completion dates? Do I want to allow authoring of documents before they can send it? Yes or no? Or do I want to enable authoring by default? So that means the dragging on of the form fields and all of that. Right. Then under recipients, so this is where you actually build your workflow, right? So at first you might want somebody to fill in the form. So here you can see all the various roles that are available: signers, approvers, acceptors, certified recipients, and delegators. Are they going to delegate to a signer, approver, etc., etc.? So this is where delegation can come in. So let's say the first person just fills in the form, right? Maybe I don't know what their email address is, so I could leave that out, okay? If it is a recipient group, I can switch this on, and this would notify me that it's a recipient group. And then here, is it required? Is it an editable field? That means, do I want to be able to edit the email address in case it needs to go ad hoc for just this particular workflow? And then here, all your authentication types. This was OTP for one-time PIN. You've got an Adobe Sign profile. Please note that KBA does not work in South Africa. That is an American only, and web identity. Right, so you can set this up for each person. Form filler. Right. Then you can go to the next one. So this is the signer. So you can edit this, and you could say this is manager. Okay. And you can accept that. And then if I click on this little plus here, if I need it to go in parallel, I can then click on parallel. So now you can see I've got 2, and then maybe this is going to be HOD maybe. Right, so you can see you've got the two options, so it's going to go to both people. Right, now you can choose whether it's still going to go down to a single person or whether it's going to branch out, and maybe there's going to be an approver under this one and maybe an approver under this one. Can you see how you can target the different areas that you need? And you can put email addresses in if you need to. Right. So again, depending on what it is, you can set these up. Once you've set up, then you can go into the emails. All right. Who needs to be emailed for any particular thing? So must the sender be receive notifications for everything? Must the people on copy? So you can go and tweak this according to the way that you need it for your particular workflow. Right? Then you can go down to documents. So this will allow you, if you already have a document, maybe it's a procurement notification, or maybe it's a student application, or whatever it might be, you can go and, so you can add the document if you need to. Sorry, I've already got one here. So you can go and choose which document. So it's going to pull a document from the template. You can have more than one document. Let's go in there. So maybe we could have this one. Right, so you can have multiple documents. You can change the name if you need to. You can say whether they are required and they have to upload one. So you've got all these settings that you can go and choose. And then you can go and look at the input fields. So if there are particular fields that need to be inputted into a form automatically, of course you can go and set that up. So, you know, what is the title? So maybe that is Mrs. And then whatever this field name is, maybe it's Jones. You know, what is the value? So you can go and pre-set up all of this information that you want. Once it's done, you save the document and you activate it. Once you've activated it, I'm just going to cancel this. Once you activate this, it means that it is available for everybody to use, and it will not only appear here, but it will appear on their home screen under the library. So here's library. This is where I found the recent templates, but under templates is where I can find all the templates that I want to use. So remember in the first session, after I placed all the form fields on the document, and before I clicked the send button, there was a little icon above it that I could check and say save as a template. So that was one way to create a template. All right. And here would be the workflows that the person could then go and choose the workflow. Let me just come down here a moment. So there you go. You can see it's been pre-populated with who it needs to go to. And because I've made it editable, I now perhaps in one instance, I might need to send it to somebody else instead. If you don't want to make it editable, then these fields will not be editable at all. All right. Of course, you could have a document that was already attached. Okay, so that's workflows, really easy. They could attach their own documents if they needed to, or you could have documents already uploaded, again, depending on how you want to use it and what your use case is. Right, I just want to go back to templates a moment. Right, I'm going to go to the home screen. So here we have an option here that says create a usable template. Right, so this is the main way to be able to create a template. Right, we could give it a name. So let's call this demo template. Right, I could go and attach whatever the file was that I needed for that particular template. So let me just go and attach my document. And then this is important here because you can have two types of templates. One template would be an actual document that you're going to reuse on a regular basis. And the other form of template is if you want to overlay some form fields on top of whatever document you are uploading. So let's say, for example, you have got an invoice, right? You could create, like we used to have those old-fashioned stamps that would have the name, the cost center number, the reason why they're using why they are requesting this, and then the approval areas. So you could have that you could place it on any document that you needed to on a regular basis. So that would be what we call a form field layer, like a layered cake. You can put the stamp on top of a document, all right? Or you could use it for both. Right, then here, who can use this template? All right, so me, my group, my organization, and then you can go and actually put on the form fields that you need. Right, so while it's uploading it. Okay, so here you can see I don't have email names because it's a template and I don't know who the template is going to at any particular point in time when I'm creating it. So I can do that. What I also want to show you here is whenever you upload a field where Adobe Sign can detect that there are form fields that need to be signed, you can go and just click on this button. Right, so it will automatically go and add the form field. So if you've got a form that's got quite a lot of fields, instead of you going to drag them in, this is a really good starting point to get to. Right, so I've determined that participant 1, the olive green person, is going to complete this field, and perhaps if I go down a little bit, I need them to be able to have a signature field as well. All right, so you can see that's also olive green. Now I can jump to participant number 2 and put on a separate signature field. If there's an important disclosure that I need them to sign, I could also just put in a little initials block wherever I need that to be for both people. So you can go and choose what the requirement is at any particular point in time. If I need more than just the 2 participants, I can actually go and add another one here. So if I've got a document that needs 10 people to sign, I can just go and include them. Please note there is an option for somebody that is sending the document to pre-fill it in. So that means that they will be prompted to complete the form before they click send. And then a black field in my instance here would mean that anybody could fill it in. So if I had made this one black, so if I double click here, I can also change who needs to complete that form. So black would indicate anybody. Right, so once I've got my form filled out, I can now go and save it, and it will now be saved in my templates section. Right, so let me just show you that here. Okay, so if I go to library, let's just reload. Alright, so here is that demo template that I've created today. Alright, what I do want to show you is this one here called Stamp Applied. So I'm going to go into my Manage tab. And if I scroll down here, can you see here I've got templates, I've got web forms. So if you need to change your form or your templates, you could come in here and it will actually show you the templates that are available. Right, so I'm just going to edit this one to show you that it is a layer based one. Okay, sorry, I don't want to go in there. Let's just go back. Sorry, I just went into the wrong place. Templates. edit this one. Right. Now, when you think of a stamp in real life, there's normally, you know, it can have your logo and a whole lot of things that are included with it. Please note that a layered template is for form fields only. So the reason why I'm showing you this is even though I've got a graphic here, when I apply it to my document, the graphic is not going to be visible. So if I do want to have a graphic and somebody to be able to upload their logo or whatever it is, then I need to just come here under fields and data fields, and you can see I can create an image, so that would give me a logo. All right, so this was the template that was created. All right, I just wanted to show you that. Now I want to show you that I'm actually going to apply it to a particular document. All right, so let's go into, I've got a draft that was set up here. Let's go into drafts. So this means if you're still working on a document and it's not ready to go out yet, I can always just save it as a draft. And I'm just going to click on edit. All right, so here is my document, right? Now, can you see in the top right left-hand corner, it says templates, right? So this is that layered template I was telling you about. So now I can go and select whichever templates I wanted. So here is that stamp one I just showed you a few moments ago. And if I click on it, you can choose which page you want it to be applied to. So I'm going to choose page 1 and I'm going to apply it. And here is that template. It's sitting over here. So when I created it, please take note that you take into consideration where the fields need to be. But you can always just go and move these around if you need it to accommodate the page that you're on. So that is what we call a form field template. Right. And then lastly, what I wanted to show you is the mega sign. Right, so let's go back to home. Okay. So here, can you see I have this middle one that says send in bulk? So again, I said it's almost like a mail merge where you've got one document, but the information that's going to go out to each of those people is going to be personalized, right? So here I can either enter the email addresses myself, or what I can go and do here is actually upload a CSV file of the information that I needed to. So I'm just going to get that form that I had here. Oh, sorry, upload, went to the wrong place. Okay, so here is my CSV file with the information. Okay, so I'll just quickly open it and show you what it's going to look like. There we go. So let's maybe just zoom in here a little bit. All right, so in the CSV file, I can see that I've got the sender's email addresses, their full names, their company details. So just remember that these are going to be the names of the form fields that you've given. So earlier on, I had one that said name 1. So then I would change this to say name 1 in my document. Right, and then all the other fields names that I have. So whatever I've called them, that would be my headings at the top. Right, then once I've done that, I need to say whether I need to sign or not, first or last. So I don't need to sign. What is the agreement name? Right, and then I can go and upload the documents that I need to upload here. Please see that you can even link to Google Drive if I need to. Right, let's have a document that's going to go in there. Let's just find it. Right, so we've got a document. I can set the expiration date and a password, and then I can choose the various authentication methods for internal or external, right? And now I'm going to actually click next, and off it's going to go, and it's going to go out to the 500 people that I needed to send it to, or 50 people, or whatever it is that I need. Right, so that is all the advanced features that are available. Let me see what questions we have now so that we can answer those. If anybody's got their hand up or anything, they're more than welcome to ask questions. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Nithyandalinhin. Sorry. Maybe you can. Oh, I'm really sorry. I do apologize. I'm blushing now. Good. Okay, no problem. So when you are sending a document for signature, when somebody is signing for the first time, they are creating a profile. Let me just go in here. So there, let me explain. There are two types of Adobe Sign accounts, all right? One is a licensed account for people that are sending documents out, and as IT, you can determine who is a sender and who is a signer. And then you have signers, which have what we call a free Adobe account. So when they are a signer, they have a profile that is set up for them, and in their profile they would have their name and their contact details, and their signature would be uploaded in here. So only they, with their password to log into their account, would be able to have access to their particular signature and applying their signature to a document. All right. Of course, you can do multiple level authentication. So from a security standpoint and in the account settings, you can do this on multiple levels. So there is two-factor authentication that is supported. It also supports single sign-on. So that could be another level of securing the user's profile. Right. When you get the documents back, and the document, I'm just going to open that audit trail that we had a little bit earlier on today. So let's go in here. All right. So when I open a document and I notice that this blue ribbon is not there, this means that the document has been tampered with in some way or form. All right, and by clicking on here, if it has been tampered with, normally you would see that there are different versions. So it would state to you here, the document has been changed, and it would give you the version so that you could click back and go and see what that document looked like before the change took place. So that's one way. It's the same as how digital certificates work. Right. The other method is if I did have a signature and I copied and pasted it into a document, I would not have this particular window open. So let me just give you a hypothetical example here. Okay, so first of all, this document is protected, so there is no editing that would be allowed. I can literally just print the document that is available there. But let's say, for example, I've got a document that was, let me just use this one here. I'm just going to open it a second. Okay, so let's say, for example, they did go and copy and paste that particular signature in wherever it might have been. So I'm just going to copy this. Let's just go and get a document that looks similar. Let me just quickly find it. Sorry, let's go there. I've got it here. All right, so let's say I didn't have this. All right, and I need to sign the document here, and they've gone in and used one of the other methods of signing, which are the least secure method of signing, and maybe it was this one here, fill and sign, or they went as far as editing the document and adding an image. All right, so let's just say this is basically the use case. All right, and they've come and put their signature in here. Alright, maybe they even cropped it a little bit or resized it or whatever it is that needed to take place. So let's just do this here. Alright, so first of all, this is happening outside of Adobe Sign. Alright, so that is one way of seeing that. So let's say, for example, you've now received this document. If I open the window here and I look under signatures, can you see there's no signature authentication? So I can straight away know that that signature is not a real signature, but it's an image that has been placed, because any document that has been signed in Adobe Sign, even if it's the completely signed document, would have this security setting and these signatures that tell you that it's valid. Right. I hope that answered your question. No problem. Okay, it was in, no worries, it was in the first session, but no problem. When somebody is signing a particular document, you as IT can determine what kind of method of signature it is that they are going to apply to the document. All right, so you can, and I'm just going to open this particular one for approval to show you. When they add it, you can either have them write their name. All right, so if I click here to sign, so here are the options. They can either type their name, they could draw their signature with a mouse or stylus, they can upload an image, but the difference with this image is that when it's uploaded, it's done through Sign, and therefore you will have that thing in the Acrobat as a certified document. And then if they don't have a stylus, we do have this ability to use a mobile device. We do have this option to have a mobile device where they can put in their cell phone number, they will receive an SMS, and then from there they will be able to sign with their mobile phone. Right, but if you you will get a copy of the first session, and it is in that video that we showed. All right, no problem. No problem. And then there's not Nolutando, I think is no problem. Hi. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Adobe Sign is a separate application from the Acrobat products that are available. Julie, do you want to step in and tell them about how it's going to work there for DUT? All right. Yes, so that's so I just want to add to that as well. So you can either, again, depending on how you're going to be using it in your institution, if you have it integrated with the Microsoft applications, like I mentioned beforehand at the beginning of this call, then you would be able to access it here from within Microsoft Word or within Outlook. If you're using Teams, you'd be able to access it through there. All right. If you're not accessing it through a Microsoft product, then when you get assigned a license, you will be prompted to log in, and you will be provided with the login details, and you would get a login screen like this, where you would then put in your DUT email address, and if a password was created for you, you could say forget password and then get your password, and you would actually log into the system itself. The version of this product that is in Acrobat is not an enterprise level product that is available. So for the universities, it will not be available. So that is why there is this other licenses that have been allocated to you, and any questions regarding that will go to the gentleman that Julie mentioned. Sorry, I don't know him personally. Yes, Nelson. Lulu, I see you have a question. No problem. Okay, let me have a look here quickly. Okay, I don't know which ones were answered already. So because you would be initiating your own signing process, let me just put it like that, so it means you're not receiving from other people, then yes you would. And you will see, I'm just going to quickly log in here again, if you just give me a moment. Sorry, I logged out for the next call to answer Nelson's question here, but there is an option that says for you to sign only. Let me just get to that screen. Sorry, just while I'm waiting a moment. Of course, it's like watching the kettle boil. All right, then here at the bottom, here you can, you know, fill and sign your document as well. You don't necessarily need to fill in a form field, but you can just apply your signature to a document. So it would be under this particular section that is over here. So and this would be more secure than doing it through the Adobe Acrobat, which is not secured at all. So you can see here, you would literally just drop in your file names, whichever those are, you click on next and you just apply your signature. So it's really easy to use that. Okay, were there any more, Judy? Okay, I see that there's one about Excel documents. So the calculations won't necessarily be done in Excel, because if you upload an Excel document, it will be converted to a PDF, but you can do the calculations using the Adobe Sign form fields. So you can do conditional and calculated fields in Adobe Sign itself. So I hope that answers Prabhashini's question. Okay, just trying to see if there was anybody else. About the autosave. So if something happens in your document, or the system crashes or whatever it is that you do, or you have to re-log in, any documents that you were working on will be saved under the drafts folder for you over there. So you can work between different devices. So you might start it on your phone and then want to finish it on your laptop. All unsent documents would be saved in the draft section there. Let's see. Okay. So I think Julie, will the first session's videos also be going out to the to this group as well that missed the basics? Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you. Keep well, everybody.